Okay, we will go with the first problem. What is the first problem given? Is given a square prism. You know what is the meaning of square prism? That means the base of the square prism will be in the form of square. There will be four corners, and at the top also there will be four corners. And the base in the top is connected with the lateral surfaces. All those lateral surfaces are looking like a rectangle. So that is the meaning of prism. So that prism, what is the size given? 35 mm sides of base. Each side of the base is 35 mm and height is 65 mm. Height is 65 mm. So now with that sentence, we can clearly understand what is the prism given, what is the dimension of the base, and what is the height of the prism. Then it is resting on HP. You remember this. You remember what I'm telling now. It is resting on HP as given, no? So this chapter explains about all the problems resting on HP only. None of the problems will give on VP resting. Whatever the problem we are going to solve, all the problems are resting on HP only. So no need to worry. So the entire prism is resting on HP. Okay, now with this we can understand what is the prism given, what is the dimension of the prism, where it is resting. Now we should understand whether it is resting on edge or corner. So as given, it is resting on one of its edges of the base. So with this, with the first line, we understood what is the name of the prism given, what is the size of the base, what is the height of the prism, and it is resting on which plane, and it is resting on either corner or edges of the base, clearly given. So with this line, I understood that the prism is resting on one of its edges of the base. That is clear. Now we'll go for the further condition. What is the condition? Which is inclined to VP at 30 degree. That means it is resting on one of its edges of the base, which is inclined at 30 degree to VP. So hence it is resting on HP. We should first satisfy with respect to HP. That now he has given the VP condition. You leave that. Later on we can take up. And read that further. Draw the projection of the prism when the axis is inclined at 45 degree to HP. That means the entire prism is resting on HP on one of its edges of the base. Then in the next position, he wants axis is inclined at 45 degree to HP. And in the third position, the edge on which it rests is 30 degree to VP. That's what he is expecting. So today, as it is a first class, I will solve only one problem. Try to understand how to solve. If you understand the first problem, remaining problem you can solve by yourself. See now. Now, for time being, I have taken pentagonal prism. No problem. You assume this is a pentagonal prism. I'll explain the concept with pentagonal prism, and then we'll solve the problem with square prism. Okay. First, what is the name of this? Whatever may be the prism, you check out the base. If the base is square and if the side is looking like a lateral surface or looking like a rectangle, then this is called as prism. Which prism? Based on this. So now it is pentagon. So we'll call it as pentagonal prism. If it is square, the shape of this depending upon the shape of the base, we can tell whether it is a pentagonal prism, square prism, or rectangular prism, or triangular prism. Any type of prism that depends upon the base. See here, now it is pentagonal. Okay, the question given is square. No problem. I'll explain that square with a board, but understand the concept of this first. So this is called base. Then this is called the top surface. Top surface is also looking like a pentagon, and base is also looking like a pentagon. Clear? This is a base, and the top is, this is called as top surface. And these surfaces are called as lateral surfaces. Understand? These surfaces are called as lateral surfaces. Then, what are all this called? This, we know, for example, this is nothing but a combination of lamina. One lamina is at the base, other lamina is at the top. If I connect the lamina, it will become a solid. So if it is lamina, what we are going to call for these lines? These lines are called as edges or sides. Correct. So we know these lines are called as edges or sides. Hence, those edges are with respect to the base. We can call it as base edges. Or these are all called as base edges. Why we are calling it as a base edge? We know these are all the edges. Hence, this entire edge is at the base. We'll call it as base edges. And this edges, what we are going to call? These are also again edges. But hence, these edges are at the top surface. We can call that as the top face edges. Or edges of top face, sides of the top face. Understood? So base, top surface, edges of base, edges of top surface. All the edges we are going to call it as edges of the top surface, edges of the base. Then, what are all these called? These are all these points. Those points are called as corners, correct? These points are called as corners. So hence it is at the base. We are going to call it as a base corners. And these are all called as again the corners, top face corners. Corners at the top face. Clear? Very simple. Once you know edges and once you know the corner, check out whether it is with respect to the base or top. If it is with respect to the top, you understand that top edges. If it is with respect to the base, you understand that as a base edges. Clear? And what is this called? This entire rectangle is called a lateral surface. Now I'm asking about this line. This only line indicates the lateral edges. This line indicates the lateral edges. This entire rectangle indicates lateral surface. Base, top surface, lateral surface. Base edge, top edge, lateral edge. Base corner, top corner. Understood? Any doubt in this? Any doubt in the base, top face, lateral surface, base edges, top edges, base corner, top corner? Okay, very good. I think probably your doubts are clear. Now I am explaining with respect to the pentagon. The concept is same for the square also. For square, there will be only 4 sides. Now it is having 5 sides. That's all. So if you understood the concept for pentagon, then this for the square is same. Next. Now I'll give the naming for this all the corners. So what is the naming for the corner? For example, if this is A, and let us assume this as A, B, C, D, E, means the top surface, I will give the name as A, B, C, D, E. Top surface, I'll give A, B, C, D, E. And the bottom surface, there is one more corner here, which A is here, again one more corner is here, correct? I should give different name for this. This is different and this is different. So what is the name for this is A1, B1, C1. See, this is A1, B1, C1, D1, E1. If the top surface is A, B, C, D, E, bottom is A1, B1, C1, D1. Where are you supposed to write? Wherever you are writing A, below that A1 should come. Wherever you are writing B, B1 should come. C, C1, D, D1, E, E1. Understood? So the naming is also done now. Base, top surface, lateral surface. Base edges, top edges, lateral edges. Then base corner, top corner. Naming for the top is A, B, C, D, E, and naming for the bottom is A1, B1, C1, D1. Then still one more naming is left out. What is that? Hence it is a solid. We will assume there is an imaginary axis at the center of the solid. We will assume there is an imaginary axis at the center of the solid. So for that axis, where it will be exactly from center of this to center of this. So I'll give the name. What is the name I given at the top? I given the name for all the corners as A, B, C, D, E. And for the axis, imaginary. It will be not there, but we'll assume that axis is at that center. And the top naming I'll give as O and bottom O1. So how many names are there at the top surface? A, B, C, D, E, and O. O is at the center. At the bottom, A1, B1, C1, D1, E1, and O1. Clear? So if you understood the naming, then only I'll proceed. Any doubts with the naming? And any doubts with the part? This is called top edge. All these are called as top edges. All these are called as bottom edges. This is called bottom corner, top corner. Naming for the top surface is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever. Name depending upon type of the prism, will name that A, B, C, D, E, O. O at the center. Clear here? A1, B1, C1, D1, E1, and O1. So that completes the naming of the prism, different parts of the prism. So if you know these two, definitely you can solve any problem in the solids. Okay. Now I'll go with the board. I'll check out here. I'll explain now with respect to the solid. All of you concentrate. We'll solve only one problem, no issue. But that problem should be thoroughly understood. See. Now, as usual, I'll draw XY line. Xn. This is VP, HP. What is the prism given? The prism given is square resting on HP on one of its edges of the base. One of its edges of the base or sides of the base. So in the lamina, if he has given the edges of the base, then where will satisfy? Usually, we will try to satisfy towards leftmost, correct? Whatever the given condition, either is given resting on corner, resting on edge, we will concentrate and will satisfy always towards left side. That is true for laminas. But for solids, what we will do, we will try to satisfy towards right side. Whatever the given condition, we will try to satisfy towards right side for the solids. That is a very important difference between the laminas and solids. Make a note of that. The given condition, we will satisfy towards right side, not to the left side. That make a note of that. Whatever the given condition, either it may be resting on corner, resting on edge, we will satisfy towards the right side. So what is the question given now? A square prism resting on HP on one of its edges of the base. That means, so this is the edge of the base. The edges of the base should come towards the right side, and that is 35. So make this as a square of how much? What is the size of the square? 35 mm. See now, assume that this is a square prism. This is a square prism. And he's telling, and this is horizontal. I'll show you. With the book, I'll show you. See now. I think this is vertical plane, this is horizontal plane. He's telling the square prism is resting on HP. So try to rest on HP. If I rest on HP, if I see from the top, how it will look? It look like a square. The same square I drawn here. And if I ask you to see from the front, the only one rectangle will see. So that rectangle I'll draw it. How? Here I'll explain. Project this further. Naming I'll explain later. So if I make this thick here, what it indicates? It indicates the base of the solid. Base of the solid. What is the height of the solid given? He has given something 60. So we will take 60. 60. 60. Complete this. So what is this surface called? This is called top surface. This is called base. And these are all called as lateral edges. Correct? Any doubts still here? Any doubts? Okay, I told you I'll draw with this blue color. So that wherever I draw red color, that indicates the projection line, and remaining is indicating the solid. So this is the front view and top view. If I see this solid from the top, it looks like a square. If I see from the front, it looks like a rectangle. Now I'll go with the naming. Naming first I'll explain here. So if I see from the top, what is the naming I supposed to see? Naming I will see as A, B, C, D and O. Bottom is A1, B1, C1, D1, O1. So here naming procedure is same as usual what we did for laminas. Leftmost from the bottom, this is the first corner. So I'll give this as A, B, C, D. How to find out the center for this? How to find the center for this? Imaginary center, draw with a thin line, find out the center. And that for that, I'll give the name as this center, I'll give the name as O. This is finished with respect to top surface. But there is a bottom surface also. Means there is a base also. Where is the base? The base is the point A1 is just below this A. So I'll put this in bracket. A1, B1, C1, D1. And similarly within a bracket O1. Any doubts here? Why I written A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D and O, and A1, B1, C1, D1 and O1 in bracket? Anybody having doubt? So the height is 35. Anybody having doubt? Next. I hope there is no doubt. If you're having a doubt, please ask me to stop. I'll stop and I'll repeat. After this, from O also I take the projection line. From O also I take the projection line. See whether the axis was original object, original line or imaginary. As I told, axis is an imaginary. So that imaginary line is supposed to be drawn in the form of locus. That already told in laminas, correct? So this is axis now. You draw the axis in the format of locus line. In the format of locus line within the solid. You try to draw the solids in the format of locus line. You know what is the thickness of locus and how to draw the locus. So this is the front view and this is the top view. Now let us try to name this. Let us try to name this prism here. So what is the name of this? This is A, hence it is in front view, it is A dash, B dash, within a bracket C dash, here within a bracket D dash, and this is O dash. Can anybody tell how you got this? This is assuming that there is no solid. Let us assume this is a lamina. So if there is only A, B, C, D name, how will name? A, as it is A dash. If I see from base, B, hence it is in VP, it will be B dash. If I see here, the point C is there behind B. So I written C dash in bracket, D dash in bracket. And if I see here, the point O is here. Before that, there is no point, of course, but there is an edge here. There is a solid edge. There is, because of this edge, I cannot see the O. So I put the O in bracket. Similarly, coming to the base. What is this name? A1 dash, B1 dash, within a bracket C1 dash, here within a bracket D1 dash, within a bracket O1 dash. So what is height of the prism given? Just I'll write some height as 60 or 65, whatever you 65. Okay, you're not 50, 65, no issue. 65 or 60, anyone. So better to take 60 because it is not possible to fit in the sketchbook, I guess. So we'll take it as 60. Clear? Any doubts in the first position? This completes the first position of the solid, front and top. Front and top positions are done. This is nothing but combination of two laminas. One is at the base and one is at the top. The top lamina is A, B, C, D, E and O, and the bottom lamina is A1, B1, C1, D1, O1. So how to name this? A dash? Why A dash is not in bracket, D dash is in bracket? Same as the concept of lamina. If I see from the base, first let us assume we are concentrating only on the top surface. What is the name for the top surface? A, B, C, D. See here. I can see A, put that A dash. I can see B, put that B dash. But C I cannot see because the point B is overlapping the D. So put that C dash in bracket. Similarly, D dash in bracket. And if I see from the base, O I cannot see because there is an edge here, solid edge. Means it is a thicker edge here. So that I'll draw that O dash in bracket. Similarly, coming for the base. Now you forget about ABCD, you concentrate A1, B1, C1. So if I see from here, even though A1 is in bracket here, if I see from here, A1 is at the base, no. So A1 I can see, B1 I can see, C1 I cannot see, D1 I cannot see, O1 I cannot see. Clear? If anybody having doubts, please ask me or else I will proceed. You please copy till here and let me know, sir, it is done. Today we will solve only one problem, no issue. That problem should be understood thoroughly. And today, whatever in the red color I'm drawing, that will be considered as projection line. And in the blue color, what I'm drawing, that is a solid. So this is the projection. And how to find out the center? Find the center by the drawing the diagonal. And the projection lines from O to XY line should be projection. Here projection, here projection. Between this solid, there should be a line called axis. And the format of the axis is similar to the locus. Similar to the locus. Remember, only the locus line should be within the solid. This should be projection line. This should be projection line. Complete that. For time being, you can draw the rough figure. After this class, as soon as you complete the class, try to draw the actual scale. Message me in the WhatsApp so that I'll identify what mistakes you have done and I'll let you know the mistakes. Somebody message me. Once it is done, please inform me. Now, for time being, you can take rough figure. I hope you have completed. I'll go for the next position. Next position is what he is telling. The solid is the prism is resting on HP, so that we have to satisfy condition with respect to HP. What is the condition given with respect to HP? The condition given with respect to HP is the axis of the prism should be at an angle of 45 degree to HP. So where is the axis now? Axis is here. That axis, if I measure with respect to HP, this is like nothing but perpendicular. That is 90 degree. Whether he is expecting 90 degree? No. He is expecting that axis should be 45 degree. He is expecting that axis as 45 degree to HP. So what I'll do, I will just copy this image. I'll copy the same thing here at an angle of 45 degree. That's all. I'll take the same image as it is, as the name it is. But now it is vertically standing. Let us try to rotate to 45 degree. How it will look? How to do that first? See here. First, you fix up the point. Which is the resting edge for us now? In the laminas, the given condition should satisfy towards left side. Now it is a solid. You satisfy towards the right side. Towards the right side, where is the line? This is the edge on which it is resting. Can anybody tell whether CB is the resting edge or C1B1 is the resting edge on HP? Bhavana? Whether CB or BC is the resting edge or B1 C1 is the resting edge?
B1 C1, sir.
Very good. Because B and C is the top face, B1 C1 is the bottom, where it is the entire prism is resting with the bottom face. That is B1 C1. So I want to fix this figure here. Which is the point I supposed to fix here now? The same figure. This is B1 dash C1 dash. So this point I am fixing here first. Then I'll copy the figure at an angle of 45 degree. In some problem, he will ask 30 degree, he will ask 40 degree, 50, whatever. But this is the procedure you're supposed to follow. How to draw now? After placing this, so first what I'll do, directly I will not take the axis inclination 45 degree. So what I'll do, I will take the help of the base. I will take the help of the base. So if I want axis at an angle of 45 degree, can you tell at what angle I supposed to rotate the base? If I want to rotate the axis 45 degree, base supposed to be rotated at what angle? 45. Correct. In some problem he'll give the axis should be rotated to 50 degree. Then what's supposed to the base rotation? 90 minus the 50. 40 degree. So here he has given any of 45. Axis is 45. So I'll take the base first. I will keep a protractor. Sorry, I told that red color indicates projection line. First you keep a protractor and maintain this as a 90 degree minus given. I'll write it as given. No need to write the angle there. Just for your reference, I'm writing 90 degree minus given. Given means what? For axis inclination. What is the axis inclination given? 45 degree. So here you take 90 minus 45. It will be how much? In some problem, it will be 90 minus 40. It will be 50. Like that, you take the angle. Once you complete this, so B dash is done. Sorry, B1 dash is done. Let us try to copy A1 dash. So measure these two distance. Keeping this as a center, cut an arc. If you cut an arc, you'll get this point. What is the name of that point? That name of the point is E1 dash within a bracket D1 dash, this point. So I'll make this as thick. So now what I completed? I completed the base of the prism. This base I reproduced here. Then I want to get an height, axis line, means height, axis, everything. So what is the relation between the base and these lines? They are perpendicular. So keep a scale perpendicular to, you also mark the point O1. The point O1 will be exactly at the center. So this is O1 dash within a bracket. However it is, you copy the same way. Then from here, you draw perpendicular line. You draw simply perpendicular line. Draw perpendicular line. Draw perpendicular line in the form of locus. What is the length of the line? What's supposed to be the length of the line? The length of the line supposed to be same as this. That is 60 or 65. Whatever he has given in the question. So this is the arc. So this also you cut an arc. This also you cut an arc. So that if you complete, you will get a solid. The same solid is tilted at an angle of 45 degree. So what is the name for this now? What should be the now is what's supposed to be the name for this? This is supposed to be A dash within a bracket D dash. This is O dash. This is B dash, C dash. Same figure I rotated at an angle of 45 degree. Now I'll rub this. This is only for your reference. I explained 90 minus given. We don't want this. What we want to show here, we wanted to show like this. Extend this axis. Extend the axis with the projection line. Show this as 45 degree. Because he has given the axis is 45. But directly I cannot take the axis. I supposed to take the help of the base. Then only it is possible for me to get the axis. So how to construct? Anybody having doubt, you please ask. Or else try to draw this figure. Same figure here at an angle of 45 degree. Copy that. I'll give 2 minutes time. Copy that. Naming, no need to worry about the naming. Whatever naming you understood here, same thing you reproduce that. Try to accommodate properly. Hence, the solid problems are bigger. You have to adjust the sheet. Means here, no need to leave much of the space. And no need to leave much of the space in between this. So try to adjust the entire figure, entire 3 positions in one sheet. It will come. First 2 figures you cannot accommodate. I know. Later on, you will try to accommodate by yourself. It will accommodate. Time being, you try to draw the rough figure. Okay, I hope you have completed that. Now we have completed second position front view. We will go for second position top view. How to go for that? Take the projection from all the corners, all the naming wherever you're done. So you'll get 1, 2, 3 here, 1, 2, 3. So that 6 vertical projections you'll get. Try to get the 6, all the 6 vertical projections properly. You'll get 1 from here, 1 more from here. Again here, 1 more here, 1 more. So I got the 6 vertical projections. You try to draw the arrow marks here properly. We got the arrow marks like this. Here also you try to draw the arrow mark. Don't forget. Then after that, you draw the horizontal projections also. So how many projections you'll get horizontally? You'll get this one projection and 1 more projection from the center and 1 more projection from here. So we got 3 projections, 3 projection lines. Complete that. Horizontal projection and vertical projection. You please complete. Okay. So once this is done, or once the projection lines from all the corners and the center is done, you try to name. Observe this carefully. How I am going to do. First, I'll start with the A. A, you have to come vertically down. Where is A in this figure? A is here. You move horizontally. Where those 2 are coinciding? Those 2 are coinciding here. I'll write it as A again. Similarly, B, these 2 are coinciding here. Similarly, C and C is coinciding here. D is coinciding here, and here it is O is coinciding. Similarly, come for A1. A1 will be here, B1 will be here, C1 will be here. Adjust and put a point just for your reference. D1 will be here, O1 will be here. Understood? See, instead of doing for the, you know how to do for the laminas, ABCD, if it is there, you know how to do. Now it is ABCD O, A1, B1, C1, D1, O1. That's all. Just number of points are increased. I hope you have completed this. Take the vertical projection from all the 6 points, take the horizontal projections here. Coincide as we did in the laminas. A to A, B to B is corresponding to A dash, B, B dash, C dash. Like that, you try to draw A, B, C, D, A1, B1, C1, D1, O and O1. Is it clear? Next. After this, I will go with the connection. How to connect this? There is some procedure to connect. If it is laminar, directly I asked you to draw A, B, C, D, E, finished. But now there is some procedure. What is the procedure? You observe this. This is a very important step. See, if you find out the center of the solid and go for the outermost points. What are all the outermost points? You remember this word. Go for the outermost points. So these two are the outermost. There is no points outside. These two are the outermost. There is no point outside. These two are the outermost. There is no points. Outermost. So these are all the outermost. That means there is no other points left outside. That is the meaning of outermost. Clear? I completed the outermost. Now you should know the connecting order for prism. What is the connecting order for the prism? See, I'll write here. At the top. Can you see if I write here? Connecting order for the prism. This is very, very important, sir. A to B, they should be connected always. If it is a prism, A to B should be connected. B to C should be connected. C to D should be connected. For square, D to A should be connected. If it is for square. If it is for pentagon, D to E, E to A. Like that. If it is hexagon, E to F, F to A, not D to E. Similarly, A1 to B1 should be connected always. B1 to C1 should be connected. C1 to D1 should be connected. Again, D1 to A1 should be connected. Next, A to A1 should be connected. B to B1, C to C1, D to D1. So the connection for the prism supposed to be this properly. You have to check out this connection. Make a note of this. This is called as connecting order for the prism. Connecting order for the prism. A to B, B to C, C to D. Then A1 to B1, A to B, B to C, C to D, D to A. Then A1 to B1, B1 to C1, C1 to D1, D1 to A1. That is a connecting order. Okay, now I'll come back for this. Be easier. Whether this is connected, these 2 points are connected now. Don't worry. Next, B to C. B is here, C is here. Whether B to C is connected or not. Again, B to C is connected. No need to worry. C to D. C to D is connected. C to D is connected from here to here. No need to worry. But D to A, check out here. D to A, we are connected with the projection line. But we should connect with the line. No, that is not done. This is not connected. So we should know. We should try to connect with the proper line. What is that? There are 2 types of line. One is visible line. One is hidden line. So all these are drawn with the thick line. It is called visible line. And hidden line, I'll show you how to draw. So now let us, for time being, we want D to A to be connected. We don't know how to connect that. So from where to see, you observe this figure. I'll rub this connecting order now. I think probably we're taken. You observe this figure from the top. If I see this figure from the top, can you tell what are all the different lines I can see? I can see this line. I can see this, correct? And also I can see this. This line I can see, and this line I can see. This line and this line I can easily see. So what are all the namings are there with respect to those 2 lines, I can see. That is the meaning of that line. So if I see this from the top, I can see this line completely and this line completely. And remaining this and this line I cannot see because this line is overlapping. Correct? So I'll go for this figure now. Now what is the connection we want? We want the connection between D and A. Check out. Where is D and A in the top figure? That is D dash and A dash. D dash is here, A dash is here. If I see from the top, can you see D dash and A dash? Or we cannot see. Whether we can see or we cannot see. D dash is here, A dash is here. We want the connection from D to A. So I'm seeing only D dash and A dash. D dash and A dash. See these two lines, what I shown, I can see that from the top. So where is D dash and D dash? D dash and D dash is in the thickened line. So I can easily see. So whenever any line I can see, connect that with the thick line. Connect that with the thick line. So A, B, B, C, C, D, D, A. All this is completed. Then let us go for A1, B1. So A1 is here, B1 is here. It is connected. B1, C1 is not connected. B1, C1 is not connected. So if I see from the top, again, only these two lines I can see. And whatever the namings are there between these two, I can see. Remaining, I cannot see. Now what we want the line connecting from B1, C1. Where is B1, C1 in the figure? B1, C1 is here. This is B1 dash, C1 dash, this point. Can you see the point from the top if I see? No, I cannot see. So whenever the line is there, that is there, but I cannot see. So you should draw with hidden lines. See here. We should draw with hidden lines. We should draw with hidden lines. Understand? You observe the difference between the visible line and hidden line. Hidden line, the thickness of the hidden line is same as visible line, that is 0.5. But it is not continuous. There must be a gap between the connecting lines, between the lines. Can you identify the difference between the hidden and the visible line? Between the hidden and the visible line. So how we got that? First we connected A to B, B to C, C outermost we did. Then we checked for the connecting order. What is the connecting order? A to B, B to C, C to D, D to A. In that, A to B was connected, B to C was also connected, C to D was connected, but there was no connection from D to A. So we went for checking the visibility. If I see from the top, this line I can see, and the naming, whatever is there on the line, I can easily see. Now we want only D and A. Check out only D and A. Remaining, you forget about this. Only D and A. A is here, D is here. I can see this. So make it visible. Then A1, B1 is already connected. This is B1. B1, C1 was not connected earlier. Now I connected, but earlier it was not connected. Check out where is B1, C1. B1, C1 was here. I cannot see if I see from the top. So I had drawn with the line called hidden. B1, C1, hidden. Next again, C1, D1 is already connected. Leave that. D1, A1 is connected. Leave that. So the connecting order is finished. Now we have completed the connecting order. Correct? For the solid. Connecting order for the solid, we have completed. Then at last, we have to connect between the axes from O to O1. What is the format of the axis? Can anybody tell? Always the format of the axis. And axis is an imaginary line, so that always it's supposed to be in the form of locus line. How to draw that? Just to connect with the locus line. No need to check the visibility for that. Bigger line, smaller dash, bigger dash, smaller dash, bigger dash, and smaller dash, bigger dash. That is the connectivity for axis. And axis should be thin. Axis should be thin, and it is in the form of locus. Axis should be thin, and it's supposed to be in the form of locus. Clear? So Sorry for the interruption. Because of the network, it was happened. And thank you for being online. Next, we'll go for the third position. So in the third position, what is important for us? As we all know, third position, we have to satisfy the condition with respect to VP given. What is the condition given with respect to VP? Can anybody tell? What is the angle with respect to VP given? With respect
30 degrees.
Huh?
30 degrees.
30 degree. Very good. So I'll draw 30 degree line. How to draw the 30 degree line? Just to take parallel, draw 30 degree. Just to take parallel and draw 30 degree line here. And what has to come? That is very, very important. You should understand that first. 30 degree is good. What has to come on this 30 degree line? So read the question. You can understand whether the axis has to come. If you know that, if you're capable of understanding what has to come, the problem is completed.
One of its edges of the base.
Yes, one of its edges of the base. How many edges are there at the base? There are 4 edges. That is A1, B1, B1, C1, C1, D1, D1, A1. So out of those 4 edges, one of the edge, it should rest on one of the edges on HP, and the same edge should be at the angle of 30 degree to VP. So that which edge it is resting on HP? On which base edge it is resting on HP? It is resting on C1, B1. Correct? So the same edge has to come on 30 degree line. But which figure? You should copy this figure now, as we did in the laminas. This figure. We're supposed to copy this figure here. We should copy this figure here at an angle of 30 degree. But challenging is what has to come on this 30 degree line? One of the base edge. Which is the base edge on this? Can you tell? ABCD is the top face. A1, B1, C1, D1 is the base edges. Among those 4 base edges, he is telling it has to rest on one base edges. So which is the base edge it is resting? You can see the front view. It is resting on this edge, that is B1, C1. So here we understood that B1, C1 has to come. B1 and C1 has to come. So how to draw that? You understand carefully here. So first, measure the distance of B1, C1. Measure the distance of B1, C1. Try to cut an arc here. Try to cut an arc of B1, C1. So I finished B1, C1. So while drawing this B1, C1, let better keep it far away from XY line so that you can accommodate. Or else the drawing, whatever you are copying from here to here, it will exceed XY line. Make sure none of the point crosses XY line. It should be well below the XY line. Like that you draw. So if I take this point will be C1 and this will be B1. How it is connected C1 to B1? It is connected with hidden lines. I'll draw here also hidden. Same figure I'll reproduce here at an angle of 30 degree. But on that 30 degree, what has to come? The base edge on which it is resting. That has to come. So now I completed CB. So how to get the remaining points? Can you tell? With the basic knowledge, what we did? First, from this point C, we have taken the perpendicular line. We have taken the perpendicular line. And from point B, draw perpendicular line. Measure B to A. B to A. That is A1. Measure C1 to D1. So this is D1. So this side is completed. Then you go for other side. C1 to D1. Sorry, C1 to D. This is B1 to A. This is A. Then C1 to C. C1 to B. So make sure no point should cross XY line or it should touch XY line. It should be well below. So complete this. What I did now, I have taken the same figure in this. I'll make it with the blue color. And this is connected with the thick line. And one more point line I have missed out. What is that line? O to O1. So O to O1, to get O to O1, first you get the intersection here. Between C to B1, there is one intersection. Draw perpendicular line here also. So mark from here to here O. This is O1 and this is O. So however it is there, you should draw with the same format. If there is hidden line, here also it's supposed to be hidden line. If there is visible, here also it's supposed to be visible. Now I'll redraw that. Can you observe? So the same figure I have reproduced. In this one, I'll draw with locus. Okay, all the points are done. This is C, this is B, this is A, D, D1, E1, O1 and O, which is in bracket, O1 is in bracket. Here also I'll put the O1 in bracket. Same figure from here to here, I'm copying, that's all. But while copying, be careful what is the procedure to be followed.
Sir,
Yeah.
can you move the camera a bit to the right and explain again?
Next line.
Explain again, sir.
Okay. Whether this you want to explain or both are seeing, no? You can see both the figures, no? Can you see both the figures?
Third position is half seen, sir.
Third position you can't see, sorry. Now,
Yes.
what about now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, just what I want is, here he is expecting something should be in 30 degree. You should know what should be in 30 degree. He is telling one of the base edges. Which is the base edge? One of the base edge, it is resting on HP. The same base edge should be 30 degree. So it is the entire solid is resting on C1 and B1 now. So we will make this C1, B1 here first. So measure C1, B1, cut an arc. So we got this. Then we want the remaining points. Check out, to get the remaining point, what am I supposed to do? From the point C only, if I draw perpendicular, from the point C and from the point B1, I can get D1, D, C, A1, A, P. Correct? So just by drawing a perpendicular from here, A completed. Then cut an arc from C to D, C to D1, C to C, B1 to A1, B to A, B1 to B. So you'll get all the points. Connect that. So how to connect that? However it is here, you're supposed to connect like that. Then at last you should get point O and O1 also. It is impossible to get directly. So what I do, you check out between C and B1, there is an intersection here. As we are doing in the laminars, M. Let us take it as an imaginary point M. Measure C1 to M, cut an arc C1 to M. We got this as M. Then from the point M, you draw perpendicular line. And that perpendicular line from point M, that side if I measure, we'll get O1. This side if I measure, we'll get O. So from here, from point M to O1, point M to O, you complete. And connect with the locus line. Because however we are going to have this figure is rotated to 30 degree, tilted to 30 degree. Just you copy the same figure in the same format. Any doubts now?
No.
See, today I'm explaining, I'll repeating again. All of you should complete the problem today only. Try to draw this to the actual scale. Very first problem, if you learn in the wrong way, then definitely everything will go wrong. So learn in the proper way to the actual scale. And make sure none of the points should cross XY line or touch the XY line. It should be well below. If you want this well below, you take this parallel line below. Or this line 30 degree, what you are drawing, try to place this below. Instead of taking very near to 30 degree, you take it below. So that you can accommodate the entire figure well below the XY line. That is important. You make sure. Then, once this is done, take the vertical projection from all the corners A, B, C, D, and O. A1, B1, C1, D1, O1. Take the vertical projection from all the points. Vertical projection from all the points. You got this projection? I got this projection. This projection I got. This projection I got. This one I got. This one I got. Take the vertical projection from all the points. Once the vertical projections are done, you take horizontal projections also. Projection line should be thin. And put the arrow marks. See, projection line should be thin. So I am using with red color where you cannot see properly. Just you follow the instruction. Draw the vertical and horizontal projection. So you got so many points here. You'll get a bundle of lines. No need to worry. However may be the lines, whatever may be the number of lines, you follow the procedure, you'll get a solution. Have you done? Just drawing the vertical projection, horizontal projection from all the points. Now, keep all your belongings, observe carefully. Keep all your belongings, observe carefully. Now, I'll go with naming. Just you concentrate on point A first. Move vertically. Don't concentrate on all the remaining lines. Let it be 1,000 lines. No worry. You concentrate only on the line which is projecting from point A. And only on the point A which is coming horizontally. Those two are coinciding here. So this is A dash. Similarly, B. This is B dash. See, let it be the 1,000 lines or 100 lines, whatever may be the number of lines. You concentrate only on B, C, D, like that, one by one. This is C. Then this is D. D dash. Now I completed A dash, B dash, C dash, D dash. Then you go with A1, B1. A1 will be here. E1 dash. E1 dash is this. E1 dash. Similarly, B1 dash. C1 dash. And somewhere here D1 dash again. So I didn't got the vertical position properly. Just you do as per the A, B, C. Okay. So we got this first. Then O1. O1 dash. O dash. So we got that. O1 dash and O dash. Get it properly. You connect, however it is coming, you please connect as per the figure. O1 and O. Once this is done, please let me know. You take time, no issue. Do it properly. Don't learn in the wrong way at the beginning only. So here ABCD and O. A1, B1, C1, D1, O1. That's all. Here for 5 points, here 5 points. So once this is done, I hope you are done. Once this is done, complete this. Just try 2 minutes, 2 more minutes and keep. Just to complete A, B, C, D, A1, B1, C1, D1 properly. I hope you have done the naming. You have completed with the naming. Then coming from the center, find out the outermost points. Coming from the center, draw or connect with the outermost points. You observe here. Where are the outermost points? B to B1 is outermost. B to B1 is outermost. There is no point outside. Then B1 to A is outermost. There is no points outside. A1 to D is outermost. There is no points outside. D to D1 is outermost. There is no points outside. D1 to C is outermost. No other points outside. C1 to B1. So this is the outermost we got. Correct? We got this as outermost. Those things we got as an outermost. Then you remember the connecting order. What is the connecting order? The connecting order is A to B, B to C, C to D, D to A. Correct? So we'll go with that connecting order. A to B. Check out A is here. B is here. Whether A to B is connected or not, it is already connected. Don't worry, leave that. Then B to C. Whether B to C is connected or not. B to C is not connected. C to D is also not connected. B to C is not connected. C to D is not connected. I want to connect those two, B to C and C to D. But my doubt is whether I'm supposed to connect with a visible line or hidden lines. Check out now how to do that procedure. You have to observe this figure for that. You have to observe this figure. You check out from the base. Following, no? You observe this figure from the base. If I see from the base, there are two faces. That is A1, B1, C1, D1. And A, B, C, D. Two faces are there. A1, B1, C1, D1, A, B, C, D. If I see from the base and if I stand here and if I see out of these two faces, which is nearer to you? Whether A1, B1, C1, D1 is nearer or A, B, C, D is nearer if I see from here. Anybody?
A1, B1, C1, D1.
Yes.
A1,
A1, B1, C1, D1. That is nearer to you. For this problem, A1, B1, C1, D1 is nearer. So that we want A, B, C, D now. We are checking out A, B, C, D. Correct? Here. A to B is already connected. B to C I want. C to D I want. But with respect to this figure, it is far away. So whenever it is far away, B to C should be hidden. Because this face is far away there. C to D, you make it hidden. That D to A is already outermost completely. So the top face is done. A to B, B to C, C to D is done. Similarly, coming for the bottom face. A1, B1 is not connected. A1, B1 is not connected. B1, C1 is connected. C1, D1 is connected. Again, D1, A1 is not connected. A1, B1 is not connected. D1, A1 is not connected. So for checking that connectivity, you again go for this figure. If I see from here, the face A, B, C, that is A1, B1, C1, D1 is nearer to you compared to A, B, C, D. So A1, B1 should be visible here. If it is nearer, make it visible. A1, A dash to A1. Sorry, A1 dash to B1 dash and B1 dash to D1 dash. So here, why I made it hidden? Because that face is far away. And why I made it visible here? That face was nearer to you. Is it clear? Any doubts still here? How we did? How I got the connecting order? First, after the naming, I done with the outermost. Then I went for the connecting order. Here, A to B was already connected because of the outermost. B to C was not connected. C to D was not connected. To connect those two, we went to observe this figure. If I see from the base, A1, B1, C1, D1 was the nearer to you, nearer to us, but A, B, C, D was far away. So when he faces which is far away and which is left out here, that is B1, C, B dash, C dash is left out, connect with hidden. C to D is left out, connect with hidden. Why it is connecting with hidden? Because this figure, if I see from the base, A, B, C, D is far away for us. So that I connecting with hidden. You can ask why AD, DB is, sorry, AD and AB is connected with thick line. Even though the surface is far away, no? But why you done with hidden, visible line? Because that is outermost. No need to worry about the outermost. Outermost, you leave it. Only for the inner points, which is not connected. For those things, we should check out the visibility. Similarly, here also I done the same thing. Anyhow, D to C is outermost. C1 to B1 was outermost. But B1 to A1, there was no connection. And A1 to D1, there was no connection. For that, we checked this figure from the base. If I see this figure from the base, A1, B1, B1, C1, C1, D1 was the face nearer to me. So I connected with visible thick lines. So that is done. So what is the connecting order now? A, B, C, D, again A, A1, B1, C1, D1, again A1. That is done. Then there was one more connection. A to A1, B to B1, C to C1. Correct? Check out now. I want to get A to A1. A to A1. So here, from the point A, only this concept applies for the innermost lines. So from the point A1, already there are two edges passing. From the point A1 is inside the outermost. So from this point, already two edges are visible. Now we want A to A1. If the two edges are visible, one more edge must be visible. It is true. Clear? From the point A1, already two edges are visible. One more edge should be visible. Finished. Done. Again, we want to connect A to A1 is done. B to B1 is connected, but C to C1 is not connected. So whether I should see the point C this point or this point, that is important. Out of these two, you check out of these two which is inside. This point C is inside. So you concentrate on this. From this point, already two edges are hidden. The remaining edge is supposed to be hidden. Clear? So A to A1 is finished, B to B1 is finished, C to C1 is finished, D to D1 is finished. At last, you go for axis. Any axis should be in locus line only. Try to draw with locus. No need to see the visibility for the axis. O to O1 should be in locus line. See, finally, this should look like hollow box. If I see from the top, it should look like a hollow square box. Hollow square box it's supposed to be. In your book, if you draw the actual scale, then definitely it look like a hollow square box. If that is looking like a hollow square box, then the solution is correct. Finished? So complete till here. Just 1 minute work is there left out in this. I'll explain what is left out in this. So anybody having doubt in the connecting order, and anybody having doubt in the visibility, and anybody having doubt in connecting A to A1, B to B1, C to C1, D to D1. Why only C to C1 is hidden? Why A to A1 is visible? Now you should check out to whether I should connect from where to where I am supposed to connect. I am supposed to connect from A to A1. Out of those 2 points, which is inside the outermost? A1 is inside because A is already in the outermost line. A is inside. From this point, already we know there are 2 visible edges passing. Another one should be visible. A to A1 is finished. Similarly, C to C1. If I check out C and C1, which is outermost now? C1 is already outermost. Leave that. Only you concentrate on C. From the point C, 2 edges are passing with a hidden line, and the third edge should be hidden line only. Finally, connect O1 with the locus line. Thin line. Locus line should be thin, but it should not be continuous. Finally, if I stand away and if I check out, this should look like a hollow box. This entire figure should look like a hollow box, square box, resting on C1, B1. Here, that complete, almost 99% it is done. Still 1% is left out. I'll explain what is that left out thing. Please complete here. I'll give 2 minutes time. Complete till here fast. I hope everybody is done. I hope everybody is done here with this. Now you observe how many points are there inside the outermost. How many points are there inside the outermost now? A1 is inside 1. O1 dash is inside 2 points. Only these 2 are inside here. Here O is inside, C is inside. There are 4 points now. Earlier here while explaining there was only 2 points. Here there was 4 points inside the outermost. What are those 4 points? O, O1, A1 and C dash. That is C. Those are all the 4 points which is inside the outermost. So out of those 4 points, something should be in the bracket. You check out one by one slowly. Let us first concentrate on O and O1. You observe here. If I see this figure here nearer, if I see this figure from the base, whether O1 is nearer or O is nearer, O1 is nearer to you. If I see from the base, O1 is nearer compared to O. So that O1 should be without bracket in this and O should be with bracket. I'll show you. Hence, O1 is nearer. Don't put in bracket. But O is far away. Put the O in bracket. Clear? So these 2 points finished out. Now we left out with A1 and C. Let us concentrate on A1 first. Check out. If I see from the bottom, whether A is nearer or A1 is nearer for you. A1 is nearer. We want A1 there. Correct? A1 is, we want to put A1 in bracket or not now. If I see from here, A1 is nearer for you. So A1 should be outside the bracket. Coming to C. Where is the C in this point, in this figure? Where is the C in this figure? The point C is here, far away. I cannot see from the base. So the point C is far away. Put that point C in bracket. So understood how to put the, what point should be in bracket. First, you should complete the figure and check out how many points are there inside the outermost. Inside the outermost, there are 4 points. That is O, O1, A1, C. Out of those 4, something should be in the bracket. What should be in the bracket? That you should see from this figure. You concentrate one by one which are all the points. Then you will come to know how to put the points in the bracket. So this completes 100%. Putting a bracket completes the 100% problem. Is it clear? If anybody having doubt, please feel free to ask the doubts so that I will clarify your doubts. So before winding the class, I'll explain from the first position to last position all together, and then I'll wind up the class. Okay. Before that, if you're having any doubt, you ask me. Feel free to ask the doubts. I'll clarify. Don't hesitate to ask the doubts. Later on, as soon as this class completes, you please try to draw to the actual scale. Anyhow, this class is 2 hours from 8:30 to 10:30. You assume that I'm taking the class till 10:30. Even though I went up the class earlier, you assume that I'm taking the class till 10:30 and try to complete this to the actual scale. Why I'm giving time? Because you're supposed to draw to the actual scale. So because of that only, I'm winding up the class regularly. In all the classes I'm winding up just 20 minutes or 25 minutes earlier, just to make sure that you are going to draw to the actual scale. Understanding? Complete this fast. Okay, hoping that you are completed till the last position. All the 3 positions are visible now. First, second, and third. This is called first position, second position, and third position. First position front view, first position top view. Second position front view, top view. Third position front view and top view. Finally, if the figure is correct or not, you can check out by yourself. How to check out? It should look like a hollow box, or all the lines here, vertical, whatever I drawn here, A1, B2, B1, C2, C1, O2, O1 should be parallel to each other. And if I see here, this should be parallel. And if I see this, this should be parallel. All the lines, some lines should be in the form of parallelness. Then only your figures are correct. B2, B1, C2, C1, O2, O1, A2, A1, D2, D1 should be parallel to each other. Here, D2, C1, A2, A1, this line should be parallel to each other. Then that indicates your figures are correct. Somewhere you went wrong if it is not parallel. Okay, that is one thumb rule to make sure that your whatever the solution you have drawn, it is correct. One thumb rule to understand that your solution is correct. Check out all these lines are parallel. All the 4, 5 lines are parallel. If those 5 lines are parallel, then the solution is correct. So coming for this. In the first position, top view, what you should concentrate here is resting position. If it is resting on one of its edges, try to satisfy towards right side. This is important. But in laminas, we are satisfying towards left side. Now we are supposed to satisfy towards right side. This is important. And naming, first you name as it is with the A, B, C, D, E, and at the bottom A1, B1, C1, D1 with a bracket. Join the diagonals, get O, imaginary point O, and O1. Take the vertical projection. Complete this figure. Top face should be like a laminar, A, B, C, D, E. Bottom face should be also laminar like A1, B1, C1, D1. Here A, B, C, D is a naming, here A1, B1, C1, D1 is a naming. Axis should be in the locus. And what should be in the bracket? Always axis will be in the bracket in this. Coming for this. Same figure, he is telling that axis should be 45 degree. So it is impossible to take the axis 45 degree directly. So I have taken the help of the base. Rotate the base. Instead of axis, rotate the base first. At what angle? The base should be rotated at an angle of whatever the axis inclination given minus 90 degree. Means now the axis inclination given is 45 degree. So that 90 minus 45 is 45. So I'll rotate the base for 45 degree first in this direction. Fix up this point B1, C1, rotate the base. Then draw perpendicular lines, complete this image. Then extend this with the projection line. Extend the axis line with the projection line, show that 45. Don't show this 90 minus given. That is only for your reference. Show this 45. Take the vertical projection, horizontal projection. Connect with the points. Complete the points, naming. Then connect the outermost points. Connect the outermost points. Then remember the connectivity, connecting order A to B, B to C, C to D, D to A. You check out whether everything is connected or not. Something will be left out. Definitely, for all the problems, something will be left out. You check out what is left out with the connecting order. That you should observe from the top. If you observe from the top, this line I can see and this line I can see easily from the top. And what are all the namings are there on this line and this line, I can easily see. So name it, mark it as visible line and hidden lines corresponding to this visible. Then later on, observe what are all the points inside the outermost. So among those points, something should be in bracket. Check out one by one and put that in bracket. Which should be in bracket, without which should not be in bracket. We check that. Then you should copy the same figure here, but while copying, you should concentrate on what has to copy, what has to be the 30-degree line. In the question, he has given the edge on which it rests, or one of the base edges on which it rests should be 30 degree. So it is resting on, it is resting on B1, C1. So in this figure, B1, C1 you copy, paste kar. Same figure you rotate to 30 degree. Then you take vertical projection, horizontal projection, complete the outermost, name it and complete the outermost. Then something will be left out there also. Check out the connecting order. If you go for the connecting order, you will come to know something will be left out in this face, that is top face, in the bottom face. You observe this figure. You see from the base, so whether the bottom face, this is A1, B1, C1 is nearer or ABC is nearer. In this problem, A1, B1, C1 is nearer. So that here also A1, B1 should be visible. All the lines A1, B1, C1, D1 made it visible. And ABCD is far away. So make it ABCD hidden. But I'm not changing anything with the outermost. Leave the outermost. Only whichever is not connected, connect with the hidden lines. Then A to A1, B to C, B1, C to C1 must be connected. So to check that, no need to see this figure. You forget about this. Here only A to A1 I supposed to connect. In this, A is outermost. Leave that. A1 is innermost points. From this point, already two edges are already we got it as visible. That line also should be visible. Then C to C1 was not connected. C1 was outermost. Leave this. No need to worry. You concentrate on C. From this point C, because the point C is innermost. From the point C, two lines are hidden lines and the remaining line must be hidden. So that is the procedure to draw the problems in solids. If anybody having doubts, please ask me. Don't hesitate to ask me doubts. See, today I have solved only one problem, and the same problem I am expecting you to solve and show me in the WhatsApp, so that if any mistakes are there, I'll let you know. Any doubts in this class? Projection of solids. See here, what is the difference between solids and laminas is, in the laminas, the first position should be towards the right side. Here, we are satisfying towards left side. That is the first thing you should remember. And there will be having only few lines. Vertical and horizontal projection only will be having few. But here, double of that. So that no need to worry, you concentrate only particular points and lines, you'll get a naming. So this is the procedure for the solution of the projection of solids with a square prism resting on one of its edges of the base. Anybody having doubts? If nobody is having doubt, still the class is still 10:30. Now I'm asking you to wind up. I'll wind up now. I'll ask you to put your USA number and you can leave the class. But till half an hour is there, make use of that half an hour and complete that to the actual scale. Send back that to me, so that I'll check out the solution, whether it is correct or wrong. I'm telling for all. Okay. Now you can leave the class by typing your USA number.